So, this is on turn 8 at Halmstad. I missed something on the last video. This unit was routed, Cav, Swedish Cav, in the attack. It was repulsed by one of the Danish units. And Carl went off to try to rally at the turn ended, or the continuation on Ashberg, I don't know, failed. Anyway, Ashberg went first on his, because he had the charge order in place. He managed to switch it to a receive charge, which might have been kind of risky, but he wanted to try to rally everything else, and this was going to be able to rally anyway. And then he lost the continuation after there, so we're not seeing any exploitation there. I'm being a lot more careful now that it's Swedes attacking. So I'm beginning to suspect that it's not so much that I'm incompetent, but indeed, I'm just really, really pro-Swedish somehow. No, I really don't know. I've certainly seen the Swedes lose in the earlier scenarios I've played. Gotten victorious arms, as well as, well, no, I don't think I've ever seen them lose in Breitenfeld in my solo. Alright, so I guess on with the turn. So here we are at the end of 8, and it feels like a situation where the choices are all bad for the Danes. Considering a charge across at this at the infantry, which they've been softening up with their artillery, but to do so they'd be crossing the stream and facing possible cav charges from here. On the other hand, this flank is barely protected. As soon as that cav's out of the way, which will probably be in a couple of turns, their rear is going to be exposed. The only hope they really have is the Swedes impetuously charge their stream position, but I don't think that's going to happen. Because, you know, those are Swedes, not Danes, so I use them a little more reasonably. No, I can see clearly here an advantage for the Swedes, and I don't want to throw that away with a headlong assault. In the prior game, Färblin, I believe, the Danish attack would have, it really was, you know, I maybe made some strategic mistake or tactical positioning mistakes very early on when I spread out across the front, but here I've seen no reason to do that particularly, and there's a lot of time. Of course, that's beginning to run short, but I can't even get my infantry formed up. It certainly seems like these guys don't have to press too hard, so I'm being more careful with them as well. Anyway, after much debating, I kind of spread out the infantry line a little bit over here to try to cope with the danger from the cav. I'd like to get this cav back to help protect the flank directly, although it's doing a job where it is. The problem is it was formation broken, and it is again. It tried to change formation and got reaction charged. Now that reaction charge did not go well. The unit under it was forced to retreat. And the only thing that's going well for this Swedish command is that Carl managed to completely rally this unit while I diddled around with some of these and to no effect. I don't know if that's entirely legal. I know there's some kind of rule where you can't do certain things, but I'm doing things that would allow a countercharge. So I think it's sufficient. I don't want to look it up. So far it's been kind of a non-battle though. I mean, we got 2 casualties, that's it. All right. Okay, after 9 turns, See, the situation is pretty much unchanged. Again, neither side really wants to do anything. The Danes feel like they're at the best defensive position they can be in at this point, and the Swedes want to prepare completely for their attack. They're still readying that cav wing. It's still not up to full speed. Their infantry's in good shape. They've been trading shots. Actually, the artillery from the Danes fired through here and did some more damage. Actually, real damage. Whereas their artillery fired back and did some formation hits. So things are in pretty much stasis right now. They can't stay that way forever. The Swedes need to move things along in order to finish this in time. So this is kind of an exciting development. This is where I was thinking about going for a while and kept debating and not doing. I've decided to move the Danish right cav wing to cover some of the territory that the left cav wing can no longer cover. Now this leaves something of a gap here, and I don't know what's going to happen. I tried to cover that by spreading the cav unit as far as possible, just to give a little bit more strength there, and then once I can, I'm going to try to shift the infantry over, but it does leave an opportunity where the Swedes can charge across. I don't know if they're going to take it or not. Indeed, the Swedes are. They charged across. It may be a bad move because they couldn't get their... See, by hitting this unit, they couldn't get through without engaging the infantry, so they kind of screwed that up. Nothing that could be done about it, though. So, since I went with it, I'm going with it. We'll see what happens. And the net combat value there was a 0, but the Swedes got a big old 9, which puts it all the way to defender eliminated. So we'll be removing these. Someone has to advance. It's going to be this guy. He's going to get rid of the momentum marker. But he's going to lose. Sorry about that. Came this way. And he's also formation broken. And now we got... I'm going to use the black die for the guy who fired a pistol. We got a couple of cav pursuit checks. This is how this sucker works. Ooh, that was lucky. That almost was a high number, I think. 0 and 3 were under charge. Those are both +1. The black guy was momentum, +2. So we got a 2 and a 4. Both of those are break-offs. So nothing happens except that the Dane is destroyed. And that's pretty potent. Yeah, making somebody cry again, I think. So here we're sitting in a situation where I want to do something the rules do not allow, and it makes me a little uncomfortable with it. This is not a normal situation in this game. Normally, things are to your front, or maybe they're behind you. I want the infantry to go into charge so that they can move closer and essentially try to drive those cav off. They go into charge, these guys have to move down off the hill. I don't think that's right. I just do not feel comfortable expressing that. And I'm going to break the rules here. It's that simple. I am going to allow the Danish infantry to do a partial charge with one limited goal in mind. I could see where people would not want to play that way in an opposed play situation, but I feel like it's the rational thing that should be allowed here. I got guys protecting the flank here. If they were two different units, there'd be no problem. But it doesn't make sense to say, hey, you guys, you got to charge this way so that I can do this. Now, you could say that this is the exact instance that I had with that mass cav charge in the previous battle, but I don't quite buy it. That made sense to me. I had spread out too much. I had to do that. Here, this just does not... I have no logical rationale for why these infantry would come down off the hill so that I can deal with these cav. And it's that simple. So we're partway through there. The infantry moved forward. Now this one's actually formation shaken already. I fired my artillery, and I think I've been cheating and not giving the dead zone to this unit over here. They got it this time, so they couldn't be hit. But both of these got a formation shake, and this guy had to make a morale check. He failed the morale check. On top of that, the leader survived that. He broke, can't retreat due to coming closer to the cannon that fired at him, so he had to roll on the unable to retreat table. And he rolled low, which means he's eliminated. That takes the leader with him, and I gotta roll to see if the leader will come back, or if he's permanently injured. And he's out of the game. So he counts as a casualty at this point. So, Escheberg mounted a charge. Everybody moved forward one hex except this guy who actually got a momentum charge against the cav on the hill. He was at a grand total of +1 with the leader thrown in. Yeah, I love risking my leaders. Got a total of 3 and got repulsed. The plan there was, hey, things are looking iffy here. I just lost my leader on the infantry. That means it's not moving. What do I do? And try to relieve some pressure. That no continuation on that. We've got one remaining unit. Yeah, the one remaining unit is all that's left. So, end of turn 10. And we see things did not go as poorly as I was kind of afraid they might for the Danes when I saw the river crossing. Of course, the Swedes didn't get as hosed as they might have, given the chance that they were taking there. Largely, the big advantage for the Danes was this big cannon. It is paying its due. It's definitely worth whatever value it costs to bring it there, because it's holding that infantry in check. Okay, I want to take just a moment to talk about by breaking the rules. This is something in solitaire, who cares? But even in an opposed play, I generally like to play with somebody who's willing to entertain the idea of, okay, look, maybe we'll both agree that something is stupid and we'll just change it right at that moment or modify it a little bit to fit our understanding. And this is one of the things I mean by I'm not a terribly competitive player. It's why the Civil War Brigade series by the Gamers is so pleasing to me, because I can remember one time playing Thunder saying, whoa, are your attack orders really saying go beyond this point? You know, because somebody was stretching their attack orders. Now, I couldn't tell this because I can't look at them, but then we discussed it and came to kind of an understanding of what we both thought the rule was and should be for the game. In this case, this is clearly breaking the rules, what I did, but I could definitely see saying, look, you know, this is silly if I can't defend myself on one flank without charging out some other totally different direction. It just doesn't make sense. And as far as I know, these rules just aren't, you know, it would take a very, very complex set of rules to express that kind of thing, and there would still be gamey effects of it. So one of the great advantages of either playing solitaire or playing with people who are of a like mind in this sort of thing is that you don't have kind of unreasonable constraints, ones that you both feel are kind of foolish. Okay, I'm going to zip this up and send it up.